Hello, my fellow friends, younglings, whatever you want to call yourselves. Today's video is going to be the final anxiety update, as you can see by the title. I just thought that I'm finally going to go ahead and give you guys my truth. I am going to go ahead and link a video down below. It was a video made back in 2013, and that was my first ever anxiety update. So if you want, please go ahead and watch that video before you go ahead and watch this one, because in that video I do explain everything that happened with the anxiety, as like the anxiety attacks and panic attacks. I'm not going to go into that with this video. This video is kind of just gonna explain how I only had anxiety in the relationship that I was in at the time. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna be as real and honest as I possibly can. I am gonna mention my ex-boyfriend. This was 4 years ago that this relationship happened, so it's been some time now for me to come to a realization and to realize these things that have happened. When anything traumatic or tragic or whatever you want to call it, in this case anxiety, happens when you get older and wiser, I guess that happens. And this is just gonna be, I can't even speak right now. This is just gonna be me talking about how I had anxiety for the 2 years that I was in the relationship. Now, like I said, I'm going to mention my ex, but this is no way, shape, or form going to be me bashing him in any way. I'm not here to say his name, or this is just going to be me explaining what happened. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy and keep watching, because this has already gone on for 2 minutes. Okay, so you may hear some dogs barking in the background. Those are my dogs, whatever. So, before anxiety, I was single and happy, to be honest. Before anxiety, I didn't even know what anxiety was, or what it entailed, or what it made you feel. I had friends and family, and I still have friends and family who deal with anxiety to this day. And, you know, I would see my friends go through anxiety attacks and feel helpless because I couldn't do anything for them. So in this video, what I'm going to explain is up to 6 months that I was in the relationship at the time, which was 2012. I was 22. And I remember August, I had my first anxiety attack. And by August, I think we were 6 months into the relationship, I had already wanted to break up. I had already wanted to leave and get out of the relationship. Now you're probably asking, like, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you just break up? Well, it's kind of easier said than done, to be honest. I very much felt trapped in my own body, trapped with staying with him, because he knew what I was going through, and the anxiety, no one else really knew what I was feeling. So, you know, I was with him when the anxiety happened, so he knew what was going on. He knew how I felt to an extent. Anybody out there that's watching, you know, if you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't have anxiety and then you have anxiety, it's really hard for you to explain to them what it feels and what you're going through, because this person might say, oh, well, yeah, I know how you feel. I know what you're going through. But you don't know what I'm going through because you don't have anxiety and you never went through this. So how can you say that? It's kind of like, do you really know? So it kind of sucked in that place, because he really didn't know how I felt. You know, I would explain to him, like, you know, I feel this way. I feel really bouncy. when I walked, I felt like I was bouncing up and down. And I explained that in the video again that I've linked down below. So if you guys want to know how I felt and all these different symptoms that I was going through, go ahead and watch that, please. But, you know, it was really hard to explain to him how I felt, because I can't tell you guys the amount of times that I had went to the emergency room honestly thinking that I was dying because I had a brain tumor, or I was dying, or I felt like I don't know. It was really crazy times, to be honest, for a long amount of months that I had the anxiety. And being in this relationship, you know, I was constantly feeling anxious. There was not a time where I felt calm. I don't want to cry. I constantly was just feeling really anxious. And the type of person I am, I'm very vocal. I'm very honest. I'm going to let you know how I feel and my feelings. In this relationship, I wasn't vocal. I didn't let him know how I felt. I didn't let anybody else know how I felt, because no one was asking me, like, oh, how are you? No one knew that I had anxiety. No one knew that I had anxiety attacks, because I didn't tell anybody, because I thought, oh, I'm weird. This is all in my head. I'm crazy. Sorry. But you feel crazy. You feel like you're the only one in the world that is going through this certain thing, and nobody else understands. Like, nobody gets it. But there's so many people out there that do understand how you feel, and there's so many people out there that actually feel that way every single day. And yeah, I don't have anxiety anymore, but I would never wish that upon my, like, greatest enemy ever, to feel the way I did constantly for months, because it was horrible. Sorry. I never cry on camera, but whatever. So, you know, I constantly was just wanting to run away, and I can't tell you, the person that I was with anxiety was not me physically and mentally, and I let so many things slide within this relationship that I would not let happen now. You know, certain things that were said, certain things that were done, the way I felt, you know, certain things that he did, like, I felt very much, I don't know how to explain it, like guilt tripped into staying in the relationship, because he was also going through his own things at the time. And I felt like we're both going through these things. I don't want to be the bad girlfriend. I don't want to be the one that's going to break up with him. I don't want to be the bad guy, you know? And I constantly was just putting his feelings first before mine, because in the end I was hurting myself. And there's nothing wrong with thinking about your significant other, but if that's all you're thinking about constantly, about breaking up with someone and how their feelings are going to be, I mean, it consumes you and it makes you go, you're feeling anxious all the time like no other. And on top of that, I will let you guys know, my home life wasn't bad. I had a very great support system from him. I had loving sisters, but yet, you know, they again didn't really know what was going on. A lot of people don't know that I was living in rooms in other people's houses. I was renting rooms. Not saying that that's bad, but, you know, there's certain houses that I lived in weren't the greatest. I was working a retail job at the time that was only paying me, I think, $12 an hour. Again, I was 22 at the time. My rent was $4.50, making 12 bucks an hour, only working about 20 hours a week. getting paid weekly. So that was like 100 and something, not even $200 a week. So I never had any money for myself ever. If that was like maybe $20 or something for myself to, like, I don't know, go get Jack in the Box or Taco Bell or something, you know, big splurge. But I was constantly, that was a lot of pressure to save money. So I was feeling the pressure of that. I was feeling the pressure of, am I gonna stay? Am I gonna leave this guy? And it was just all piling on top of each other and just making me feel a certain way. And I just wanted to, I think that's what my breaking point was when I did have the anxiety attack. And I do explain that again in that video. And then now that I'm older and I realize, I think the way that I look at it was, don't get me wrong, this guy was pretty cool as a friend. And I think that's where it should have just stayed, was a friendship. You know, those friends that are just, those guy friends that are just supposed to stay your friend, like, you know that they're just supposed to be your friend. Like, you know you're not supposed to take that extra step or that extra leap to be together, but yet we did. And I think that was the mistake, because I think we weren't supposed to be anything else but friends. And I kept constantly telling him, like, look, I'm not the girl for you. This is not right. Like, it's not working out. Like, you're obviously not happy. I was feeling like he was unhappy because the way I was making him feel. So I was feeling pressure from that. I felt pressure from myself because I wasn't being the great girlfriend. And, you know, there were certain times, there was one time where he gave me an ultimatum, and this was like the end of our, I think our relationship. And we had a conversation about something that we were talking about, and he pretty much had said, if you mention this again, that's it, like, we're done, or something among that lines. And you should never, ever, ever give your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, a ultimatum, ever. And in that moment, I was on the bus because I was carless and took the bus everywhere. But in that moment, I just thought to myself, like, what are you doing? You're not happy. Why are you in this relationship and letting him talk to you like this? Like, this is not how this is supposed to be. This is not how a relationship is supposed to be. You're not supposed to feel this way, but yet you do. And I was just hurting myself constantly. And I know some of you might think, well, I mean, it's so easy to walk up and get out and leave. But you know what? Honestly, it's easier said than done, because he knew what I was feeling. So I just felt, I guess, comfortable to stay. And I didn't want to leave. And that's just not me. I'm telling you guys, when I had anxiety, like, it took over me. It really did, for those couple of months. And I finally just snapped out of it and was just like, you know what? I'm either going to let it control me, or I'm going to control it. And so I finally just took it by the reins, and I was like, you know what? Like, screw you. I'm not going to let this mental illness get a hold of me, you know? And it was kind of funny, because, not funny, but it's just crazy how the way the world works. And like the last couple of months that we were together, we had hardly seen each other, because a lot of things in my life were just happening. My niece was just born. My sister had things going on. So I was helping her with that, and just a lot of family stuff. And family to me is honestly very important. Like, family above everything. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. But that's just me. And I'm sure anybody else would say the same. But I remember the day that we had broken up. And I'm saying this story because it was just like really significant for me. And I remember that I got called into work, and of course I took it because I needed the extra cash. Like, if you're low on funds, obviously, like, heck yeah, I'm gonna go into work. So we were supposed to hang out that day, and this had happened a couple other times that we were supposed to hang out. Something would come up, and I think this was just the final straw. And we kind of had broken up a couple times before that, like split like maybe a month or so, and then we got back together. But this was like the final straw. And I remember telling him like, hey, I got called into work, sorry. And I remember he responded with, I need a girlfriend who's going to be there for me, who's going to understand what I'm going through, he said all this stuff, and I was just like, wait a minute, dude, are you serious right now? Like, you're really telling me this when I'm trying to like make money for myself, and you're going to sit here and say, I need someone who's going to be there for me? Like, that's what I'm saying with feeling like the guilt, being guilt tripped and sustained, because I felt sorry and I felt bad because I thought I was doing something bad. I thought I was being the bad girlfriend. And it was just like, no. So we went our separate ways. And honestly, I could sit here and say that as soon as like we had broken up, I literally felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And I felt so happy. And the reason why I say that story is because honestly, before I had gotten into that relationship, I never ever had anything anxiety. During that 2-year time that we were together, that's all I was feeling was anxiety, anxious, not wanting to leave my room. I'm telling you guys, having anxiety made me feel so crappy about myself, physically and mentally. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to leave my room. I didn't want to go to work. If me and him did hang out, honestly, he would pick me up. We would go eat. He would come over. I would go over his house. Like, there was no fun being had. Like, I could not do the simplest of things. And that's where I felt bad on my part. Like, oh my gosh, I can't have fun. I can't go out anymore. We can't do this or that because, oh, I have anxiety and he doesn't understand. And I would see like him and I would feel bad because I was going through this, but yet he wasn't understanding how I was feeling and not taking the time to see what was going on from my standpoint, from what I can see. Not saying that, you know, sometimes, I mean, he did, but then other times I was just feeling like crappy, like, sorry, I can't do this, or sorry, we can't go out, you know, and you should never make anybody feel bad about anything, but I just feel this relationship had made me get anxiety. Honestly, I have not had an anxiety attack, a panic attack. I haven't felt any symptoms that I felt in that relationship. I had sensations of falling. I had, while I was sleeping, I would twitch a lot. I would get dry mouth. I would panic while swallowing something to drink. I would freak out in public places. I had social anxiety. There's so many things that I had going on in this relationship, and the way I felt that, you know, again, I'm a social person. I'm the type of person that is out and about. I am adventurous. I love being out. I am a homebody, but I like being like out and hikes and working out and just going to concerts and having fun. And for this time, I was not myself. I was not myself at all. And I just realized it, you know, some time ago, and it just has taken me a little bit to make this video because I was a bit nervous, to be honest, to like say what I wanted to say because I didn't know how it was gonna come out. And it doesn't matter if you're in the same situation as I am or, you know, going through anxiety. Anxiety is not easy. You know, it's very much a mental issue. It really does suck. But I'm so happy to say that I'm able to sit here and say that I am free of anxiety. I mean, I get anxious just like the next person, you know, going on a ride or, you know, being nervous and all this stuff, but I have not felt that way, the way I felt since 2012, since 2013, and I'm so glad that I could finally just sit here and let you guys know that I'm anxiety free. I know I get a lot of questions on the video that I posted, that I've linked down below. Again, I keep like saying go watch it because you guys will understand. At the time, I mean, my voice is like totally different. My teeth are messed up. Like, it's just crazy where I've come from. But, you know, honestly, I feel like anxiety and everything that I've gone through in my life has made me so much stronger as a person. And I'm glad that I've gone through what I've gone through in my life, because I'm here now to talk about it and tell you guys. So I hope that answers all your guys' questions. If there's anything that I left out, question-wise or storytelling-wise, please leave your comments down below. I will go ahead and answer them if you guys have any anxiety-related questions. But this is it for like the anxiety video. I'm pretty much, that's it. I said my piece. I said what I wanted to say, and I think that's it. But I will always answer questions. If you guys have any, please, again, leave them down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, I hope this helped anybody that is going through anything anxiety related. Because I know that when I was going through that time in my life, I was looking at videos and nothing was coming up really like real true stories like this. And yeah, so all my links will be down below where you can find me. And if you like this, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Happy Friday, you guys. And if you want to see any more personal videos like this, I want to do a couple of other videos that I've had on the back burner. And anything else that you guys want, like life advice or anything, leave it down below and I'll make videos on that. I'm trying to be more personable on this channel because I feel like that's where I see a lot of people leave questions and stuff, more like asthmatic face anxiety. So that's what I want to kind of do more videos of. And that's it. Enough rambling. Again, I hope you guys like it. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.